Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. The best match, literally ever. Flash against JaeDong. Probably the most storied rivalry next to Boxer versus Yellow. Well, this one's better, honestly. I know that people have nostalgia for Boxer versus Yellow. Boxer beat him every time. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert. Yellow couldn't beat Boxer. He couldn't stop bunker rushes. JaeDong versus Flash. Much better rivalry, I think. I believe Flash actually does have the winning record there, but I mean, these two are why each other are the best ever at the peak of StarCraft. You know, they've said it multiple times. Flash wouldn't have been Flash without JaeDong there to kind of push him forward. Of course, Bisu was around as well. He actually started to peak a little bit before them. But really, it felt like these two were in the big rivalry to see who would be the greatest. Anyways, should be an amazing match. We've been watching Flash's comeback here, seeing what his play looks like after a couple of Protoss games. It's time for some Zerg action, and who better to do it against than JaeDong? Again, mentioning, I cast JaeDong the games from time to time. Sometimes he looks great, sometimes a little bit less so. Just to be clear, he is an ASL player still. He's making it into ASL every season, and he's having some good games, some bad games. Honestly, this last season was a tough one because TY really brought something from StarCraft 2 that JaeDong wasn't ready for, and I feel like that screwed up his run. I feel like JaeDong could have been like maybe a top 8 player this season, or this past season, but yeah, it didn't end up happening. Anyways, very excited to see what Flash is going to want to do in Terran vs. Zerg. Now, Flash has been out of military for a while, and I want to say a year ago, he was really active on the ladder, one of the top players, and I casted a bunch of his games, and then he went inactive and left for a long time, right? And now he's back suddenly. But I want to mention that, in my opinion, watching, I casted and watched a bunch of Flash games in every matchup, and in my opinion, I thought that his Terran vs. Zerg was the most interesting when he came back. He had very, very cool builds where I call it the 3 Depot 2 Scout, where he was pressuring in a different way. So let me describe this, okay? Because I feel like we talk a lot in broadcasts here about the changing of the Terran versus Protoss metagame in the last year or so, right? Where it went from upgrade Terran completely into 5 factory playout. We've been over that. It's like beating a horse with a dead stick at this point. I've talked about it so much. Let me talk about some of the developments in Terran vs. Zerg, and this is from the Zerg side, okay? It feels like the metagame, I guess both these times, basically Zerg and Protoss kind of solved things that Terran was doing. So for a very long time, Turax Turax Academy Rush was like the go-to build in this matchup for Terran. And basically, like, what you would do is maybe force 2 sunken colonies, or maybe if they had made a 3rd base on a location, you could go out and kill it, right? So that was the real standard for a long time. And it was really, really good, and it was super powerful. Everyone was using it. Now, basically, Zerg's got good to the point, and JaeDong's doing it right now. Notice how he's getting Zergling speed? What the counter to this became, Zerg would simply hold some speedlings outside your base, and if you start to walk out with the Marine Medic, they counterattack with the speedlings, right? And it basically made the build defunct. You still see it sometimes. If you have a very good wall, it's still really good. But other than that, like, if you don't have a wall, it's kind of bad at this point, because the Zerglings will get more damage than the 2 Sunkens that you're probably going to force. Okay, so we don't really see it too much. Now, that being said, this is a Turax Academy Rush from Flash, but it's because he went for a 15 command center, right? We call it a gasless expand in Terran vs. Protoss, but a 15 command center would be 1 depot barracks command center, and that's because he scouted JaeDong first. Now, actually, most people don't use that build anymore, even if they scout their opponent first, because it forces you into a build that you might not want to do. And, you're just going to have lower Marine counts in the very early game. But anyways, he's going into that Turax Academy Rush. He's making 2 fire bats. This has been the standard for 2-Rax Academy Rush for quite some time. He's hitting an insanely good move out. Dude, he has 9 Marines and 2 medics on a 5-minute move out. So very, very well executed from Flash. And of course, you always make 2 fire bats to stop this. But here's the counterattack. Here it is, right? Now, the 2 fire bats are doing a pretty good job. He runs into the main base. This is really annoying. And there's the 2 Sunkens on the way. So the question is, JaeDong only had like 4 Lings. He's going after the SCVs. Who's dealing more damage here? Well, he's actually getting in on top of that before the Sunkens are ready. Now, a few Speedlings come out. So he did force both and a few Speedlings. But JaeDong is doing some harassing. He's actually getting some SCVs. So this is like literally exactly what I was talking about, right? Look at this. He's got like 3 SCVs, lost mining time. Oh, he gets a Marine, 2 Marines with 4 Lings, with 4 Speedlings. What did Flash do? Okay, he lost 3 Marines. Yeah, he forced a few Speedlings out. That's true. And he did force the 2 Sunkens. Yep. But you see what I mean, right? This is why 2-Rax Academy is just not as popular anymore. Ooh, that's like a... That's not a kill you want to let happen as JaeDong. That's embarrassing. That sucks. that was a very simple mistake. He just had it on like the wrong square there that denies the vision. That's too bad. It is actually tricky here. This area is actually kind of a tricky one for vision. Anyways, you know, right now we have Flash getting a lot of missile turrets. Who is ahead right now? I feel like this is very, very close. JaeDong has his 3rd base up. It's at another natural, so that is going to apply pressure to Flash in a different way, where JaeDong's going to get a free 4th later on if Flash doesn't do something about that. Now, Flash has decided to go 2-Rax into Starport, and I think he'll put down an armory. No? No armory yet, at least. Oh, he is getting a 2nd gas, so actually this might turn into a siege tank push. That is a possibility. This is interesting. I'm not entirely sure, because 1 Starport opener... Oh, you know what it might be? It might be a 2nd engineering bay as well. That is a possibility. That was a thing for a little bit. The really fast 2nd engineering bay with delayed 2nd port. Okay, this makes more sense to me. The add-on for the factory. Because, like, basically, if you see someone finishing the factory and starting only 1 Starport, you have to be asking yourself, what are they doing with the additional gas? And it can either be a siege... You can go 1 fact, 1 port, 2 port, or you can go very fast 2 eBay into the 2nd port. And here it does look like it's going to be, you know, a focus on a siege tank push. Okay, JaeDong has that gas mining. Firebat coming over, but, I mean, it's 2 drone hits from death, so not an issue. Lurker upgrade, Hive coming. Now, the Hive is probably just slightly slow. If Flash nails this timing attack, I think he can maybe break the natural before JaeDong has everything ready. Now, look at this. He's actually playing a zoning game against the Mutas, by the way. Oh, wow. JaeDong does not fight this. It was so low, you can literally turn a drone and kill it. But anyways, this is like a zoning play where he's got to keep his Marines and react. You basically have to stop the Mutas from flying over, because if the Marines aren't here, see how he tries again? You see that? JaeDong tried again because he saw the placement of the turrets. The turrets don't defend the mineral line. They're for zoning. And if Flash hadn't been quick, if Flash's army had been here, JaeDong would have flown in here, killed all his SCVs, and won the game. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. So Flash has to zone this completely. And he's doing a great job of it so far. Okay, that siege tank, he might dive on that. Yeah, that's a good kill. That's a good kill. Totally worth. 100% worth. Very good move. Another siege tank is on the way. You actually want, when you're doing a siege tank push against Zerg, to hit on 2 siege tanks. The older 3 siege tank pushes were all the rage in 2008, but they're too slow. So everyone does 2 siege tank pushes now. Oh, and he gets it. Dude! JaeDong is playing really nicely here. Really nicely. Heavy amount of lurkers walking around. Good position. That'll really slow Flash if he goes in that direction. Looks like we might get a Mutalist counterattack. He's keeping his Mutas out here. Oh, if he can get that. Okay, doesn't quite get it. Good attempt. Good attempt. Seems like there may have been just a little bit of missed micro from JaeDong. I think if he had used a move forward command, he might have been able to snipe that. Ooh, sets up the lurkers and is catching. Dude. Oh, he doesn't get the split well. Well, his Mutalisk count is certainly reduced. The Siege Tank coming out and across. Lurker on the way over here. Nidus on the way. Uh-oh. There's actually, like, no defense here. He's bringing in some Lurkers as a flank. But the Nidus is not ready. This is really bad for JaeDong suddenly. Dude, I actually was like, okay, he's going to win this game 100%. Look at this. He catches the Siege Tank, so that's good. But he's going to end up losing this base. And, like, it almost doesn't matter what happens to Terran if they kill your third. If they kill your third, Terran's ahead 100%. Like, it is really hard to win on 2 base against 2 base in TVs or ZVT once the Terran has, like, vessels out and everything. And look at this. He ends up clearing those lurkers. This is a flash win. That's too bad. It felt like JaeDong was really outplaying him. But when Flash just made a beeline across the map, JaeDong just didn't have anything to slow him down there. If he even had, like, 3 lurkers there, he would have been able to hold that. Now, well, I guess there is a Defiler up here, so let's see if he can actually break in. Yeah, he's trying to get up and get a Dark Swarm, but yeah, not ready for it. GG is called, and Flash ends up taking it. Nothing too wild here. You know, he tried the Siege Tank move. The Siege Tank pushes are not super popular right now. But it's okay. Like, if you scan the right situation where your opponent's Queen's Nest is a little bit late, like, basically if your factory is done and they didn't start the Queen's Nest, you have a timing attack where you will be at their natural, if you control it correctly, before Dark Swarm is ready. So, not a bad choice or anything, and it was a 15 command center. We don't see that very much right now. People shy away from that quite a bit. But, okay. Decent game there. Guys, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.